Hey y'all, welcome back to the channel. Thank you so much for all of your love, your likes, your shares, and your subscribes. Continuously engaging with the channel with your comments. It is greatly appreciated. As always, if you need a personal reading or an energy work consult, fill out the Google form in my bio, or you can just email me. That's what some of you guys have been doing. Just reach out to me, leave a comment, and I'll get with you, okay? All right. Happy spring. All right. We are through the bulk of a lot of the turmoil or confusion or stagnation that was in the energy. And astrologically, things are lining up for you in a way that is only going to be beneficial to you. So you are now in a stage where you are going to be receiving earthly things, and it's going to, I can't even say throw you off. That's how rooted you are in your North Node. And while I'm not an astrology girly, what I want to do on this channel, as we kind of do some more readings and do some energy work, I want to be able to share practical, real world guidance with you guys, along with the kind of fanatical, sensational, hard-hitting karmic pieces. Because while those pieces are very important, all right, the karmic masculine, the karmic feminines, the cultism and things like that, I want to start narrowing in on how you can flip that, what your role is in the midst of all of that, because it's approaching your doorstep for a lot of you, and really your mailbox. Heavy emphasis on communication, okay? Over the last stretch of time, it was Mercury retrograde. Okay, and Mercury retrograde was in Pisces. Pisces is all about illusion, secrecy, magic, okay, hidden secrets, okay, systems that go far beyond the physical reality. For example, in tarot, Pisces is the moon card. All right, but that's all about illumination now. And when planets are in retrograde, bear with me again, I'm not an astrology girly. I learned along the way. But when planets are in retrograde, it's all about you taking the element of that planet and going within. Retrograde, reversion, going back inward and looking at yourself, your situation, karmic connections, old flames, okay, situations that you removed yourself out of. And it is a time for you to almost play back the tape, so you can genuinely see and feel where you lie in the midst of your journey with that person. Okay, because even if you haven't talked to them, one thing Mercury retrograde will do is that it'll bring them back. It'll bring them back to the forefront of your mind. Or, and please let me know in the comments, guys. I meant to post a poll. Let me know if you had anyone from your past reach out to you like last month or so during retrograde. Please tell me, all right, because that's what that's all about as well. So your old karmics, they may have come to the forefront of your mind. Please believe it's because they were thinking about you. When I say thinking about you, I don't just mean like just pondering. Retrograde for karmics, it is an immersion for them. All right, it was a karmic storm. They were tormented by the things that happened between you two, by lies, okay? And it was a direct mirror. They kept thinking about you, and they had to realize and sit with, damn, why don't I talk to collective anymore? Oh, I did that. That was a terrible thing to do. Why am I like that? And this person started realizing some things, and now that retrograde is over, all those things that they were realizing that was tormenting them, their secrets, it's coming to light. All right. And that's good news for you, because there is something that will come out or be exposed that has something to do with you and that person. And it's going to clear you of some type of wrongdoing or false narrative. Okay. Even legally speaking. So things are blooming. Confirmation. Hold on, guys. Okay. Sorry, y'all. But, you know, again, confirmation. So let's recalibrate. How I want to structure the reading is, and I do my personals this way as well. I'm going to just pull a few traditionals, 3 to 5, maybe 7, and we'll start talking about what is in your general energy, and then we'll dive in from there, okay? Oof. 3 of Swords, heartbreak. I'm getting cut off. Okay, with the Ace of Swords is all about divine truth and clarity, communication. So you have swords out here twice. Then I'm looking at 4 swords. So you have the 3 plus the ace. The 4 of swords, the card itself, that's all about reflection, meditation, thinking, pondering. The Hierophant. Hierophant is all about institutions. Remember, traditions, law and order, rules and regulations here. I'm sensing a violation. At the beginning, I said that some of you are going to be receiving some type of communication from the courts here. All right, on the Hierophant card, you see this person looks kind of like a judge, a kingsman, a nobleman, an official. This is very layered right here. Okay, so I'm getting like 2 sides. There's a grievance here with the 3 of Swords that has something to do with a legal issue. That's about to come out here. There's communication or truth coming out about that with the Ace of Swords in regards to you. But whatever you're a part of, it's a part of something larger. And there are multiple people in this system who are in 3 of Swords energy. They're heartbroken. They're scared. They're very anxious because they know that this truth is coming out. And whatever it is that attacked you or that you were a part of, some type of corruption, it's widespread. And it's tied to some real deep, dark stuff. And now we can start branching back open into the occultism and things like that, because I'm just getting you were the victim of some type of corruption here. And there were officials involved. So that is where you come in at, is you more than likely had some type of karmic attachments, and those karmic attachments were connected to these crooked officials here. They're all really anxious right now. This is coming out. They know that. Okay, listen. 9 of Cups. That's all about vices. Okay, this guy's very satisfied. Your cups are all about your emotions, your personal fulfillment. 9 of Cups is all about riches, okay, getting the things that you want. But the Moon card, I brought that up earlier. Pisces, illusions, secrecy. These nice things or the sway that these crooked officials have, there is something coming to light about that. The Emperor could be about a group of karmic masculines and the people attached to those karmic masculines. It builds a network. Okay, a network that is built based off of karmic individuals and also organizations. So when you're talking about organizations and you're doing crooked things that are illegal, you are talking about organized crime. There's a whole sector of the federal government that specializes in investigating those crimes. Okay? They're called RICO cases. And for some of you, this is going to be validation for you. If you ever thought that you may have been a part of some type of RICO case, you were not crazy. You were dealing with people who were involved in some nefarious activities. You're about to find that out. Okay? I'm getting a group of men, evil men. And then it all starts off like branches, okay? So these evil men, they typically have evil witchy wives, okay? Evil men who marry evil witchy wives, typically with Jezebel spirits, they raise witchy evil children, especially karmic feminines. So all the components of your story, it's all coming together in this exposure, and it's going to be widespread. This shit that you see on the news, you are a part of it. They take a very quick sensational look at a big, corrupt situation, even something like the Epstein files. Things are going to start being exposed that zoom out on the smaller components of that. People like you and me who are friends with, or who had lovers, or even family members who are attached to people like this and systems like this. It's crazy work. All right. So that'll be the theme of the reading today. Let's dive more into this because I'm getting systematic. All right, so I'm getting a group of karmic masculines, karmic families, wealthy. All right. You ended up on the radar of at least one powerful person, and you got hooked here in some type of massive operation. And it became less about the operation to this person and more about you, this fascination with you. And they tried to keep that a secret here. This strange focus on you. Okay, you had people who misused their jobs to look into you or to find information about you and then manipulate that information for personal gain. Okay, or blackmail, Let me organize this, y'all, and get myself together. Okay. I saw I paused the clock at 13:13 too. Okay, so, things are starting to align when it comes to exposure here. Again, not an astrology girly, but I do want to start calling out when I see them or when I know them off top, the astrological sign that is attached to the card. And eventually we'll start moving on to the planets, but let's talk about what we have out here. Don't ask me nothing about the swords. All I know is that the swords are air. So the Ace of Swords could be Gemini, Libra, Aquarius. Okay, so the Three of Swords, I think that's Gemini. Don't quote me on that, but okay. Hierophant, that's Taurus energy. The Moon, that's Pisces. The Emperor, that's Aries. And the Four of Cups, that's Cancer. Okay. So we pretty much have all the elements out here, except, no, we got all the elements out here. Okay. So, things are coming together here. And it's not looking good. And I'm getting, it's like one masculine in particular. And this masculine is attached to a family unit. And this family unit is like wreaking absolute havoc. These are people who were engaged in a lot of corruption, not only on a physical level, but on a spiritual level. I'm getting dark energy, dark, crooked energy. Because I mean, look, you have the Emperor. This is a powerful masculine, a boss, a leader. Okay, you have Hierophant energy. That's an official. That's someone with status, sway. And then you have the Moon card sitting right in between. This is a liar. This is someone who will throw you under the bus. This is a blackmailer. And this is someone who abuses their power. They're getting exposed for this. And when I say this is being exposed from a smaller level, I mean this masculine, a lot of powerful karmic masculines, they got sloppy. All right, these people prey off of low vibrational people who would willingly sacrifice their loved ones to get ahead. All right. And when you're dealing with people who would do stuff like that, those people get really sloppy and they get hard to control. You, unfortunately, got tangled up with someone who was in that energy, who was being preyed on by this person. It's going to surprise a lot of people who this Emperor energy is. It's justice. I don't make it up. This is some type of law official. This could be a judge. This could be a high-ranking law enforcement official or a leader within law enforcement. Could be military, all right, or like the defense sector. This is someone who has government ties, heavy government ties. And when you start getting into government ties, you'll start realizing that the government really just isn't the government. It's just made up of a bunch of corrupt systems that we depend on to live. Okay, could be, they're in bed with the financial institution. They're in bed with big pharma. They're in bed with the music industry. And for some of you, that last one I said, that music industry, you got sucked in to that demonic world. All right. You dealt with someone who wanted to be a part of at least one of those institutions that I named, and they sold you out to be a part of it. But they failed. Okay, they failed because the price to get in was you, and they couldn't offer you up. They couldn't sacrifice you. Not long term. They thought they had you in the bag, but you ascended. And because you are now rooted in truth and who you really are, these lies that were told about you, even presented to the courts here with this Hierophant and the Justice card, the way you are presenting now, it looks totally different from how these karmic masculines, okay, these powerful men and their little henchmen, you look mad different than how they were going around telling people to portray you. It was not in a positive light whatsoever. You dealt with people who basically offered to humiliate you in exchange for being in a certain league or a caliber and have access to the things and the people and the places that karmic masculine powerful figures like this guy does. Okay. So, I'm maybe switching back and forth between like plural and singular karmic masculine leaders, but they're run of the mill. They're not special. These corrupt officials have operated the same way since the dawn of time. That's why they band together and form dark fraternal orders so that they can form one unit. They operate as one unit. So it doesn't matter if this is one man. It doesn't matter if this is one man and his associates, which it more than likely is. It's karmic masculine, powerful figures who abused their power and manipulated the justice system, financial institutions, whatever. And you were a victim of that. Okay. And it's just really multifaceted. And that's how I know I'm definitely not going to fully dive into this story right now. Because when I tell you, just with the cards that are out here, I would be reading all day because it would just be a summation of all of the readings that I've ever done. Everything is connected to this karmic masculine leader right here, this crooked official. Okay? You know this person by proxy. And with the power that this crooked official had, they were able to gain a lot of insight into you. And a lot of the insight that they gained into you, the information that they obtained about you, it was obtained illegally. And that's what this person is getting in trouble for. So when we talk about, when people put on their tinfoil hats and they talk about, the government's always watching and listening to your phone calls, and they are. All it takes is an okay from a man like this or a woman like this in a powerful position in law enforcement, and you're on their radar. Okay? So it doesn't take much for someone who has it in for you, who's a part of a corrupt system, to gain access into your life, your financial records, your medical records, your cell phone records. And I'm going to build from here. Usually I don't like to throw it all out there, but I'm going to tell you a big piece of where your exposure truly comes from on a legal level. So listen close. That information, these records and things that were obtained about you, there was special interest in analyzing all of it. So you had at least one person who was on a special assignment, basically, to take in this information about you, find patterns, almost develop like a behavioral profile on you. Okay. And this is necessary for them to figure out how to keep control of you. You have to know your enemy. So these people were looking at where you went, how often you left the house or whatever, or who you hung out with, or, your behavior on social media, everything. Okay. And with that information that on the surface looks like it was obtained legally through a search warrant or whatever, or, having access by being attached to, again, you were attached to someone who was a part of this system. So if they were being looked into, you were kind of being looked into. All right. You were attached to all of this by proxy. So all of that information was taken, plastered, and manipulated by people who had access to it. That's the problem. That's a big problem. So it doesn't have to be a big bombshell moment in the reading. I'm going to go ahead and try to pull the main story, because what my readings are going to be on as we go along is how you are going to earthly engage with different elements, okay, karmic elements, and surprisingly, there is a divine element in these cards that I'm looking at, okay? So you were going to have your past resurfaced. Things are going to come to light. You're going to have to make testimonies and statements and things like that. And you're going to learn a lot of terrible information, karmic information about people who you thought that you trusted. Okay, illusions are just going to fall and break, and you're going to have to deal with that. But there is someone, at least one person in this mix here. It's divine energy, or it's an energy that is not here to harm. It's an energy that it's going to be the only thing that you are going to pull from dealing with all of this legal issue or being a part of this scandal. There's going to be something. There's going to be someone that is going to come with you after this journey that is also a part of this. Okay, for some of you, it could be a lover. It could be a lifelong friend. It could be someone who you go into a successful, a healing business with to help the collective. There is love coming out from this, on top of legal justice for a lot of you that looks like some type of financial compensation. I don't make that up. And I don't make that up. Page of Pentacles. You're going to get some type of payment or reward for being a victim of this. And I don't really like that B word, but in the eyes of the law, yeah, you were a victim. Some of you were a victim of some type of fraudulent activity, a smear campaign, defamation. So I'm not going to lie. And I'm filming this after the recent full moon. This past full moon on April 1st for the spring equinox, it was in Libra. Okay, so we're talking about legal revelations here that are going to be happening. So for some of you, you are going to be tied up with at least one legal issue or having to make court reappearances, whether it be on Zoom or actually having to go down to the courthouse. You're going to be involved in those things for the next couple of months, stretching out through the rest of the year and into the next. All right, we're at that stage where notifications are starting to be sent out. So if you had someone strangely ask you like about your address, or like a family member reached out to you and asked you something like that, I'm telling you that's why. Someone needs your address, because there needs to be official communication with you about something. May have something to do with some money. So I'm looking at a lot here. And it's a lot that's going to be coming down the pipeline for you. So some of you are going to be involved in multiple court issues here. All right. Also getting inheritance. You have the Six of Cups at the end here. Six of Cups is all about familiarity, family, memories. Okay. These two people on this Six of Cups card, it could be a mother and child, or a sister and brother. It's a family thing going on here. So I'll tell you what I'll do. I'm going to make this an hour reading. So we'll go for about another 30 minutes or so. And then you guys can leave down in the comments. Tell me what about this that you want me to elaborate on. Because I'm kind of tired of just throwing cards out. Oh my God, DL Karmic Masculine. And then that's it. Tell me what you want to know about certain things. And I can start shaping my readings around those themes and getting more information out to you guys. So for now, this is just going to be very general, just to catch up with you guys after things have calmed down. Okay, and things should be turning up for you right now. So I just wanted to come on and give you guys an update. The Chariot. Things are definitely flowing. First of all, Cancer energy here with this Chariot card. Chariot is all about movement. For some of you guys, this Chariot card coming out after the Page of Pentacles. Some of you could be moving soon, new job, new house, or just, switching places to live, getting a fresh start, finding a new environment, a better environment. This will be good for your mental health. This is all about balance. The Justice card came out earlier. That's Libra energy as well. That's balance. That's all you're being asked to do at this time, because things are going to start coming in and you are going to shock yourself, because you are going to see just how much you have truly grown, because I'm telling you, it's coming. Some of you got a taste. If you had a karmic reach out to you, it probably came at the most karmically funny time. Okay, you may have gotten a text, or they may have called or showed up, just resurfaced. Some of you just felt them lingering in your energy. That's what happens during retrograde. Okay, so stuff like that is going to start happening a lot more often, because this is coming back to the forefront. You have dealt with your past, and now it's time to put it to the test, because it's coming back around. Death card. Scorpio energy. It's a lot of water out here. This was the same way in the last reading as well. The Moon card, secrecy, illusions, coming to light, exposures, that's Pisces. Four of Cups, that's contemplation. I'm also getting jaded energy, that's Cancer. Death, that's something ending and something new beginning, that's a new phase. Something starting over, fresh and clean. Scorpio energy. Six of Cups, that's reminiscing, that's nostalgia, that's also Scorpio energy. And then again, the Chariot is Cancer energy. Okay, so heavy water sign. What's this? Yeah, Two of Pentacles. This is going to be a task for you, because it's going to force you to, while you were in the midst of the storm, spirit guides, ancestors, and the divine allowed you to be sequestered while you dealt with these attacks. Okay? You are going to have to face a resurgence of your past energy, past people, while handling and dealing with your responsibilities and the energy of your new self. The self that's in your North Node. The self that by default reacted when you got that text from your ex. That feeling of detachment, like, damn, I used to be crazy about that person or whatever. That, they're going to constantly clash. These people are coming back into your life because you have to face them down in a legal arena here. And you, over the course of years, have developed skills to be able to deal with this. What is going to happen to you? Most people are not equipped to deal with it. They're too surface level and they're not spiritually developed enough. And it's not for a lack of ability per se. It's for a lack of will. Okay, you have people who walk around every day and they hate themselves. They don't have purpose. They don't know why. They feel guilt. They feel shame. And they make perfect targets for people like these powerful karmic masculines. They prey on people like that. They would sell you out for a sense of purpose, and you're about to find out legally that they may have violated you in order to do so. Straight up stole from you, lied, exposed you. And that's a fact. Let's do some Kipper, so we can start personifying this a little bit. And then again, leave in the comments, you know, if there's a certain character or archetype that's coming out in the readings and you want me to elaborate more on that energy, whether it be a karmic feminine energy, a masculine energy, or whatever, let me know. And then I'll know what I need to kind of narrow in on for the following readings. Okay, so let's just maybe do this row of Kipper and kind of see who some of the players are in this mix. Wealthy man. Okay, this is close to the Hierophant energy. So this is your typical wealthy law official, or, you know, person who has that obscure government job, or this strange military or government adjacent consulting job. That's this person. Distant horizons, that's up under the Hierophant. Hierophant, again, that's institutions like court, judge, jury. I'm just getting like a law official. Hell, a politician or someone who has connections to these people. Gift, it flew out in reverse. Okay, it flew out in reverse, and then gift is up under the moon. Secrecy, illusion, bribery. Mm. 36 could be significant. Out of all the numbers, I'm not sure why that's standing out to me. 24 could be significant. This is on the Thief card. So you have wealthy man, distant horizons, gift, which flew out in reverse up under the moon card. And then you have thief up under the emperor. So I'm going to tell you what flashed through my mind as I was straightening out those cards. You got attached to someone who, again, was working with this karmic masculine boss energy. And this boss, in exchange for this person feeding information about you to them, they were supposed to get some type of gift, maybe under the table. Okay, I know your boss can't just give you a home, but this is someone who has connections in multiple fields that will find a way to set you up properly under the table, or make it look on the up and up. I'm talking about this person could have boosted your 401k or some shit like that. Okay, but there are perks that are financial that you were up for trade for. So it's at least one person from your past who was dealing with this karmic masculine boss. And in exchange for sacrificing you, that karmic person, they received gifts, money. On this distant horizons card, there's a ship. You could have dealt with someone who sold you out so their boss could take them on vacation, go on trips and parties and, you know, work trips and stuff like that. Maybe even out the country or around the country, just doing shit. They sold you out for that. All right. And now this person is attached to this boss, and this boss is in the midst of a RICO case. They are being exposed for manipulating the system in order to get personal gain. All right. So there's you. There's at least one karmic person from your past. Could be a relative, could be a friend, could be an old lover, baby daddy, baby mama, it doesn't matter. Someone close from your past. Then you have this dark karmic boss. This is a crooked official and their associates. You're involved in that, my friends. Okay. And with this thief card, this karmic person from your past working with this karmic boss, they could have stole something from you. I said that in the previous reading. Something was stolen from you. And it was like a payment. Hey, if you get me this, or if you find out this about Collective, there's a raise in it for you. Or there's a new spot opening up at this company. I'll put a word in for you. Someone was doing that with you, your whole identity, and then lying as well. Okay. This is someone, this could be the same person. If you had a karmic reach back out to you or pop back up recently, it could be them. Mature woman. I don't want to assume, but I off rip was getting like karmic. So this is giving an older karmic feminine energy right here. If this isn't an elder karmic feminine, this could just be you. If I'm talking to you and you're in feminine energy, you're mature, you're well-rounded, you stand your ground now. This is something that was up for debate. Possibly even your intelligence was up for debate. Your social standing, your mental status. Now you are being seen in high honor, as mature, as grounded, and the people who were telling these lies about you, things are being exposed about them that they tried to project onto you. So if they said something wild about you, it's because that's what they were doing in the dark, but that's about to come out. But back to the thieving old lady, because that's what I'm getting right here with this mature woman coming up after this thief. This is a very privileged lady. This is a woman who is obsessed with status, looks, feeling desired. I recall earlier I said that a lot of these powerful karmic masculines, these corrupt officials, that they'll typically get with karmic feminines, marry them, start their little karmic occult empire. So this could be one of the elder karmic feminines here that was a part of these attacks. And I will most definitely allot more time in talking about these karmic feminines. It's equal rights and lefts on this channel. We talk a lot about these evil karmic masculines, but they typically have partners. And those women or those feminine energies, they're like 3 times as evil as these men. Don't get it twisted. There is a karmic feminine, at least one. For some of you, maybe even a mommy-daughter duo. They hate you. They really spearheaded all of this stuff. And as you go on, you'll start to see that the little personal attacks, it was coming from them. Feminine jealousy. Karmic feminines who didn't want to do genuine work to be divine. So they sacrifice up and coming divine feminines in order to harvest their energy and pretend and masquerade to be divine feminine while throwing you under the bus, putting you up in a smear campaign to try to level the playing field for them. That's really who was cooking with it. And you were going to find that out. All right. So eventually we will move away from this, karmic masculine arc and really get down to the true feminine power, karmic power that is fueling all of this corruption. It goes deep, y'all. So we could be dealing with a corrupt couple. Okay, this fake corporate legal Bonnie and Clyde or whatever, and they were out here wilding, pulling a bunch of strings, and it's getting exposed to the justice system. False person, after mature woman, and this is up under the justice card. I am just getting a total breakdown in a woman's psyche here. This is a feminine that puts up a front, acts perfect, has a perfectly curated personality, vibe, and they just bite off of people to do it. It's fake. It's rancid now, and this person can't cope. Their world is falling apart, and you just keep doing better and better and better. You were their life force. There were feminines who were literally getting their beauty and vitality from attacking you. And now that they can't do that, they're rotting from the inside out. So if these are feminines who were pulling information or making a narrative to present officially on the record somewhere about some type of instability or, activities that you were doing, just the same way, if they were to see you now, they would know that that's not true. It's the opposite for them. This is karmic feminine energy that's dusty now, that can't even fake the funk. Okay, so this is someone who is going to have a lot of court issues, and it's not going to go in their favor. They don't look competent. Things are coming out about them, and they just don't look stable. Any standing that they had, any type of illusions energetically, is lifted. It's all going downhill for a lot of karmic feminines and karmic masculines that they were attached to. And the real issue here is that they were attacking you because the karmic masculines that these karmic feminines had attached themselves to, they were too obsessed with you. They never seen no shit like that before. They wanted to know, and they couldn't figure it out. They couldn't copy it. What it was about you that made the masculines in their life that they were attached to so obsessed with you. And instead of trying to just respect that shit, they tried to taint it. It's bouncing back on them. They had a lot to say about you. Okay, and the information that you were going to find out is that you were kicking it with people who were kikiing with these karmic feminines about you behind your back. Okay, imprisonment. That's what they have coming up. Thief, mature woman, false person, imprisonment. Y'all, pause. Let me get some water. Was getting a little parched. All right. It's real thirsty out here. Okay. So there are going to be more readings about these karmic feminine energies. All right. There's always been an elder one. a younger one, kind of like a mommy-daughter duo here. Baby, I have a whole Freudian reading on those two. Okay, so right now I'm just pulling out the archetypes that are in the midst of all of this. I'm going to finish this row. I've only got like 10 minutes left. I think I'm going to switch back to general just to kind of cap it, tell you practical information about what you need to take from this reading and actually do and use and not just ruminate on or just fear. And we'll call it a day and just kind of let me know what you guys think, okay? All right, but imprisonment. That was the last card here. You had a karmic system around you who wanted you stuck so that they could extract from you. But that cost. And some of these people are going to pay with their life. Mature man. You know, what's standing out to me is this imprisonment card. It's this person in jail, locked up. There's a mouse just chilling. Okay, and it's a very grim, dark card about being trapped. It's up under the Six of Cups. That's such a happy card, Scorpio energy. It's about passion and memories and nostalgia. Okay? Good times, parties, vibes. You were attached to people who sold you out for those good vibes. Now they're stuck. They locked it in. But look, again, locked up, okay? Tattered up clothes. The mouse is here. It's people now who are living in poverty is what I'm getting. People were trying to live it up here. Maybe we're spending and living beyond their means. And now, you know, I'm sensing people who have to have roommates for the rest of their life now, whether it be in jail, okay? And when they get out, they'll have to have one after because the money's not going to be coming in anymore. It's poverty here, and it's going to be well-deserved. Because you had people saying that you were in poverty. And again, even if you were going through financial hard times, that's not a slight on your character. Okay? And worst of all, these people were nefarious. It was people who was doing magic to try to make that happen for you. For you to be homeless, something happened to your house, or you lost your job. Or you just went crazy and you just cracked out and you couldn't support yourself. You were being worked on in that way. Okay? And you had this wealthy, mature man and this mature woman. Again, now I'm getting a couple. Hold up. Y'all, look at that. Look at this. On one side, you have mature woman. Opposite side, you have mature man, and look what's in the middle. False person and imprisonment. They're cooked. This little couple right here. Okay? And one of the key pieces that fueled the downfall here was some type of feminine jealousy. It's a feminine that absolutely crashed out and sabotaged the operation because they could not cope with how much attention was being placed on you. You're a hot commodity, collective, but you were being sold here. Pathway. Yeah. So, you know, what I'm getting is that you had people from your past who were working with this couple for personal gain. Unexpected income came out. All right. This couple interfered in your life and manipulated people who you thought were close to you, and they sold you out, or they tried to. Now those people are going to jail, and they're going to be stuck in a mental prison as well, and they're not going to be able to get out. They're stuck. They're haunted by you. Every single last person who even thought about crossing you in this way. Child. All right, y'all. So let me just pull a few classics here, because look what's at the top of the deck as I put it up. Courthouse. It's coming. So when I say I want to give practical steps, ideas, so that you can be ready for this, I mean that. Okay? Some of you have already kind of started getting hints at this theme, but I need you to remember, or, envision or imagine or prepare to have your most embarrassing or personal, private, or misconstrued pieces of information displayed out or read out in front of a judge. I need you to hold on to what I just said. Think about that, because that shift in the energy, you are going to have to be ready for that. All right, so let's get back into you. Spirit, what does collective need to know? 7 of Wands. That's persistence, perseverance. Keep going. I feel like a lot of you have started to find your flow now. There's just a few hitches or hiccups that you have to address, and you'll be smooth sailing. Again, for some of you, you may have realized that you need to move, get out of town, or just move houses, or get a new apartment, or just refresh your environment. I don't make that up. The Fool card, brand new. You need to be making even physical room for this Ace of Pentacles that's coming your way. All right. Maybe a lot of court proceedings and paperwork and statements and stuff like that, but it's all going to pay off, because look, the Hierophant, distant horizons, and the Ace of Pentacles, you're getting a paycheck. You're getting a paycheck. That's how bad you were violated here in the eyes of the law. But again, you need to tell your story. As harsh and as violating as it was, you need to tell it in order for you to get justice. Okay? 9 of Wands. The Lovers. The Lovers up under Thief and this karmic boss. So yeah, for some of you, an old flame, a child's parent, an ex-wife or a husband, there is someone significant from your past who is worried about this new beginning, because it means that they're going to be exposed for doing something fraudulent here. They know that this information is coming out. They tried to play around with you. They tried to be your friend while also working with someone who wanted them to feed information. And I don't make that up. 5 of Swords, that's sneakiness, that's betrayal. That's winner takes all. Someone tried to sell you out. I'm just getting, this is someone who You may have even had a spiritual connection with, even if it wasn't long term. This is someone who you may have known that God put into your life to either test you or to show you things about yourself. And this is why. At first, it may have felt like love and soulmates and we're going to get married and stuff like that or whatever, or you thought it was going to be something long term, but this was their true purpose in your life. They propelled you to victory. And unfortunately, that victory is going to come with some type of public exposure, and some of it's not going to be nice. But you need to tell your story so people can see how much you were bullied here, and that people around you knew what was happening to you, and they were receiving payments in exchange for not telling you about these things. Seven of Swords. Lying, stealing. This is up under false person in the justice system. And this karmic person from your past who you were close with, they were working with someone who had ties to the legal system here and a financial institution in order to funnel money, resources, assets, stocks, bonds, whatever the fuck, in exchange for feeding information about you, spreading lies about you, because the 5 and the 7 of Swords came out. That's all types of finessing, gossip, vicious lies. And the fact that this is all bundled up with, this courthouse and the thieving and justice and the Hierophant, someone told something to the law that was legally binding or official about you that was not true. That's okay, though. That's about to get exposed. Everyone who was involved here, 3 of Pentacles, up under imprisonment, they're all going to jail. Okay, someone at the bottom messed up, and they are going to expose that they were working for someone who has government ties, financial ties, and they're corrupt as hell. And they were doing all types of crazy stuff and targeting individuals. And, I said the TI word, I said targeted individuals. And that's a whole conversation for another time. But that, in a shell, is how it works. We look at the government as just some big, overarching thing, but it's a unit of individuals who are your neighbors. Okay? They could be anyone. They don't have to be flashy. You'd be surprised who works for the government or who has, military or defense adjacent positions. From all walks of life. I'm talking about could be janitorial all the way to, academia, STEM. They all going to jail. I think we all know that we're founded and ran by a shadow network. That is all coming to light. The planets are realigning. Okay, karmically, we are in a whole new era of light and love and truth and justice. And I feel like as a collective, we can kind of feel that shift. Things are being exposed. We're coming together. We're seeing the bigger picture. And individual stories like ours are going to have to be told in order to heal the collective. Yeah, Wheel of Fortune. Like I said, Wheel of Fortune is all about destiny. This fell on top of the Lovers and the 5 of Swords. You weren't meant to be with this person permanently. This is someone who was designed to snake you so you can grow. All right? And collectively, by this person snaking you, they unknowingly exposed a whole system. So congratulations to them. They're going out sad, but, you know, they kind of lived up to the purpose here of exposing all of this stuff. I'm getting if you had a karmic reach back out to you or pop back up, an ex or something like that, this is them. They're going through it. And so they're being tormented because they know that one of the sources of their problems is legal, and they're in a bunch of legal issues because they were working with corrupt legal institutions who were playing around with you. Yeah, this person sold you out for money. 9 of Pentacles fell on top of the Ace of Pentacles. They sold you out for money. Okay, clout, status. All right, I'm getting this could be the type of thing where if you had someone karmic who betrayed you and they were working like with their actual boss, this is someone who was just a victim of, you know, a false mentorship. They were preyed on. And I know this is a little bit of a heavy nugget to put at the end, but I'm going to put it here for a reason because this is a perfect stopping point. That mentorship is predatory in a lot of different ways. Powerful, wealthy masculines will prey on weak-willed karmic masculines who look up to them. They want to be at that level. They see that desperation and they prey on it. And not only does it open up karmic masculines to just be corrupt morally, it unfortunately opens them up to be victims of assault. And in my last reading, at the very end, I was warning you guys because, you know, what was going on with the planets. I was warning you guys to keep track of your things and to watch your communication and just stay on your toes because it was Mercury retrograde. But I made a slip and I said Mercury retrograde. Spirit never let me forget it. As we go along in these readings, I will start to strip back this surface level talk about down low karmic masculines. A lot of these men are not down low for fun. A lot of down low karmic masculines were preyed on by older karmic masculines. Okay, this is predatory grooming behavior. And that is why I said as we go along, I'll start being more real world or start being more practical about these issues, because it's all fun and dandy to bring up themes of, you know, homoeroticism or down low behavior, but it's always deeper than that. So on this channel, we will talk about male grooming, predatory behavior, because men are victims as well. And I know we just kind of went left with it, but I feel this energy coming up when it comes to this karmic or these karmic, especially masculines from your past. All right, you could have had a karmic masculine from your past who was being groomed by an older masculine, perhaps an older boss in their life, to not only participate in things like this, to commit these crimes, to lie to you, but they were being groomed sexually. Okay, so it's a lot of things that are weighing in this equation here, but all of it's about to be exposed, and you will find your rightful place in the midst of the chaos, and you will be grounded in it. But you will find out this karmic from your past who got involved in this, they are one of many. It's very common, and I want to start talking about it. Okay, we don't have a lot of fairness and nuance when it comes to down low masculines, but we're going to get real with it eventually, okay? I just had to put that out there. But for you, you're in your new beginning. Okay, and that's really no concern of yours. I just had to say that because, again, part of your new beginning comes with this arc. It's not going to feel heavy to you just because you're so spiritually grounded, but these are things that are going to come up and they're going to challenge you. They're going to challenge you. Because some of you may have already had something to say about down low karmic masculines and things like that. But at the end of the day, grooming is grooming and it works the same way. And we're going to talk about it. How male grooming is crucial to that system that preyed on you. All right. Damn, y'all, I did not mean to take it there. Okay, Spirit, can you like make it happy? 3 cards, three cards. Sorry, y'all. Oh my God, what did I do? What did I do? 9 of Swords. Okay, all right, just a preview. All right, y'all, let's just get a preview. Give me like 2 more, Spirit. Just show me what we're leaving behind as we close the door energetically. 9 of Swords. Someone's in a lot of regret. They're anxious. They're in a lot of pain. This could be a karmic from your past here. 5 of Cups. That's regret. Again, Scorpio energy. Scorpio energy was heavy in the previous reading. Again, when it comes to this karmic boss and selling you out. This could be the energy that this person is in right now, because you see this courthouse card. You'll be hearing from this person again. All right. This is someone who is your link to these legal issues, one of your legal issues. All right. So I just want to be messy real quick. That's who's looming in your energy. Okay. But again, that doesn't really have anything to do with you. Practical advice as I wrap this up though, if you're thinking about moving, pick the environment first and then worry about the rest later. So if you know that you need warm weather or you need more sun, more vitamin D to boost your mood, to keep you stable, search from there. Go geographic first, then look at the region, then see what type of jobs are available in the area, yada, yada, yada. I feel like some of you need to know that at this time. Spring is all about moving, cleaning, cleansing, and blossoming. And we are going to keep continuing to do that. All right, y'all. High vibes. Stay alien.